welcome back to my channel. I have recently decided to have some top 10 segment in the Magic the Gathering portion of my channel depending on the results of the recent MTG tournaments online and in arena. I found the reference from another MTG YouTube channel where he does just all sorts of top 10 list of Magic. Anyway, I am starting with this one today. Black is Magic the Gathering's best color in the game when dealing with creatures. Like destroying, exiling, and a lot of other words to describe it. It is what makes control decks in various formats use versus the aggressiveness of creature decks. Also increases their survivability to reach the late game for their big spells. This is applicable in all formats of the game. To get updated in Standard as to what removal that opponents use, I decided to do a quick top 10 list based on deck utility. List of the frequently used spot removals in the Standard format metagame. 1. Heartless Act, most used in black-based archetypes in the main deck with an average of 3 copies of the card. It can be considered as generic spot removal in the current meta. Orzhov, Dimir, and Golgari are the usual users of this card, and it has proven to be efficient in dealing with the opponent's threat. 2. Extinction Event, the current Black Wrath of God has made its conditional odd or even number more favorable against aggro decks. Playing against this card makes me wary of what mana cost I play on my board so they cannot wipe me out in one go. 3. Binding the Old Gods, while this is Golgari colored. This is an auto addition as a playset in 3 color deck builds that support it. Mainly Sultai control. The card value is just too good to resist. 4. Shadow's Verdict, another black conditional mass removal that is more geared to handle the low-cost aggro deck. They just need to reach 5 mana to be able to cast this spell. The average copies in the deck are at least 2. Partnered with Extinction Event. 5. Power Word Kill, the newest addition from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This spot removal is also under the category of conditional but efficient, based on the metagame. Most of the aggro creatures are non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, and non-dragon, so they will likely meet their end on this card. 6. Drown in the Loch. This Dimir instant, which has 2 major functions, are why it is probably the best card in Dimir Rogue's deck. Countering a relevant spell and killing a relevant creature are its main advantage, but is initially less effective if opponents have lesser cards in their graveyards. Hence, the mill strategy is one game plan of the rogues for it to function well. 7. Elspeth's Nightmare. This Saga enchantment has a similar advantage with the Binding the Old Gods, though this is cheaper and easier to cast. You can just cast it on an empty board with the hopes of ticking the lore counter up so as to duress your opponent on your next draw step. The bonus exile effect also works against graveyard shenanigans. At least 2 copies are included in the control decks. 8. Eliminate. This instant spot removal is more valued in historic and modern decks than in standard. Maybe because it cannot hit relevant threats that are 4 mana cost or greater. If the metagame leans more to low-cost aggro decks, then this may have more copies played than its current average of 1. 9. Professor Onyx, a late-game board advantage in the form of an iconic planeswalker, is what any black-based deck would want to add to their list. The sacrifice ability does not target, so no instant protection would save it. The high mana cost is just the only drawback, or if the opponent has already placed enough threats. Still, you only play this if the coast is really clear. 10. Bloodchief's Thirst, a slower fatal push but is more efficient in the late game. This sorcery card has an average of 2.7 rounded up to 3 copies in the deck of the current blue-black Dimir control. Your spare untapped mana on the first turn can deal with their 1-drops if they go on the play. That is your top 10 removals in the current standard metagame based on statistics of the recent tournament results online. I'll be doing more top 10 videos soon, so just stay tuned. Make sure to click like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be one of the first to know of the recent upload to my channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time.